built to serve.
Back here, first things first, we'll talk Chiefs. They're losing to the Titans bid in a second, but first Ravens and Bengals and Lamar Jackson. Breaking this touchdown run wide open with a perfectly timed spin move. Man, he was good yesterday.
Lamar has proven he can be an excellent quarterback against good or even great teams. But against bad teams, he might be the #1 pick in the history of football. Like, against bad teams, he just annihilates them through the air and on the ground.
Yeah, Cincinnati's been good for everybody's self-confidence.
Cardinals and Bucks. Larry Fitzgerald making a ridiculous catch near the sideline yesterday.
This was a huge play, and if you bet the cards to pull off the upset yesterday, as some of us did, this was a moment where you're like, they're going to do it. Now, they screwed up the ending, and they had a bad call go against them. But this is a 4th and 5 with the game on the line, and look at what the ageless Fitzy does.
Yeah, those key moments go to your best players. He's incredible.
Absolutely unbelievable.
All right, moving on. Cowboys and Vikings. Randall Cobb, watch him lay out to make the touchdown grab. Just his fingertips there.
Dak took a page out of Coach's favorite quarterback, Aaron Rodgers' book here, saw the Vikings had jumped off sides, said, let me take a shot to the end zone. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was happy to see that. He very rarely does that. For him to have that awareness and then to make that throw is good to see.
Very smart play, and Randall Cobb makes it helps.
Pretty amazing catch.
Absolutely.
All right, more from this one. Kyle Rudolph with an insane one-handed circus catch in the back of the end zone for the Vikings.
I think that was his 44th career touchdown, underrated career in Minnesota, and that is a great play.
Yeah, my son cut him from his fantasy team like 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, poor decision.
He had listen, he was the biggest reason they were up 14-0 early. 2 very short but great touchdown catches by Rudolph.
And the rare win for Kirk Cousins in a big national
primetime
situation.
game. You never see that.
All right, let's move on to the Chiefs and the Titans. Patrick Mahomes back under center for
Welcome
KC.
back, Patrick.
He didn't miss a beat fourth quarter. Mahomes, watch him, the nasty jump pass to McCole Hardman, who is a fast football player, breaking away for the 63-yard touchdown. Chiefs up 9. Mahomes, 446 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a few little skips, but everything feels good. Titans wouldn't go away, though. Ryan Tannehill looking, finding Adam Humphries for the go-ahead touchdown. 2-point conversion would stretch the lead to 3. So Chiefs would get one last chance to tie. They need Harrison Butker to nail this from 52 yards out. That's not even close. It was blocked. Chiefs lose 35-32. Kansas City now dropping to 6-4 on the season. Nick, let's start with you. Why did KC lose this game?
They did everything you can do to lose a football game that you have no business losing. Now, let me make this clear on the front end. I still believe in this football team. Now, my prediction that they weren't going to lose a game until next season, that lasted all of 0 weeks. So that one I got to eat, and I was wrong about that clearly. But you look at what went into them losing this game. You have a fumble by your running back. It's returned for a touchdown. You miss an extra point, one of the most reliable kickers in the whole league, Harrison Butker. The biggest reason they won last week's game without Patrick Mahomes against Minnesota was Butker was brilliant. He misses an extra point. They stop Tennessee on 4th and 17 with less than 2 minutes left. The game should be over. But Tennessee has all 3 timeouts. And on 3rd and 2, they run a weird quarterback rollout where it comes into play, you could lose yards because you don't want Mahomes to throw it away because you want the clock to run. And now all of a sudden you have a far more difficult field goal. On that field goal, the ball is snapped too early or the holder's not ready, one of the two. And then you give up a drive to Ryan Tannehill. And then on the next field goal, you let it get blocked. Every single one of those things had to happen in order for the Chiefs to lose a game that is a crushing loss for them, because you almost at this point can just wave goodbye to the bye. Like they're still in first place in the division, but the Raiders are coming. Now, I think the Chiefs will win the division. I'm not concerned about that, but the best way to the Super Bowl is a bye. The even better way is home field advantage. And when you give away a game like that, you lose the opportunity, certainly for the home field advantage and almost certainly for the bye. So it's a long list of reasons they lost. Patrick Mahomes, obviously not one of them. The only silver lining for the Chiefs is he came out and looked just like Patrick Mahomes looks. In fact, his ankle looked even better than before he had the knee injury, and so he was more mobile. He was sensational. But that's an inexcusable loss for a team that has legitimate Super Bowl aspirations.
Yeah, one of the things that you're not covering, too, is they gave up 8.2 yards a carry, and that's a huge issue. And when you've got a guy like Patrick Mahomes, everybody's going to try to keep him off the field, and they're going to try to run the ball on a consistent basis and chew up the clock, and that can be demoralizing, and more importantly, it just keeps that offensive machine off the field. And then you add in the multiple problems on special teams. It's hard to have a field goal blocked and then have the field goal earlier where you've got the botch snap, and then insult to injury, you roll out and you get intentional grounding, so that was tacked on to it as well. And those mistakes, you're right. It's hard to lose a game when your quarterback plays as well as Patrick Mahomes plays, but it was just a significant amount of just self-inflicted wounds at the end.
And listen, I understand the defense is going to get crushed locally in Kansas City and nationally, and Derrick Henry ran for $180, so that's understandable to a degree, but it should be noted, the defense got the stop they thought they had to get. After the Chiefs kicked a field goal to go up 5, they forced Tennessee off the field in that 4th and 17 I'm talking about. Up to that point in the game, the defense had allowed 20 points. Now, that's not – Tennessee had scored 27 because of the fumble return for a touchdown. But up to that point in the game, the defense clearly was playing listen, we're not going to be able to stop the run. We're not going to let Tannehill throw the ball on us at all. They had been successful to a degree in that. The defense, until that final drive, had done enough to win if Kansas City was able to just pick up one first down, which they don't go 3 and out the entire football game until that one drive when they have to get the first down, and they essentially take the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hands. There's a lot of reasons they lost, none of them acceptable when your quarterback, 24 days from having his kneecap relocated on the field, throws for 450, 3 scores, and doesn't turn the ball over once.
Patrick Mahomes was tremendous yesterday, coming off what he did. Who knows if he was 100% or not. He did everything he wanted to do, and the numbers back it up. But even I was watching the game going, oh, they'll probably run the ball. Oh, they'll just give it to Derrick Henry, because they just kept doing it, and he had his way with them all game. And I know that maybe the defense wasn't the major concern, but is their run defense, or even special teams if you want to throw in there, is that what's going to keep them from going all the way this year?
Yeah, defense has been the consistent problem, but when it's a problem with the run defense and teams can use that to control the clock and shorten the game, and look, everywhere I've been, when you face one of those elite quarterbacks, you've got to start with that first. It's, okay, how are we going to stop them? But how are we also going to keep them off the field and have long, sustained drives so that we're not in a fast break type game where we know we can't possibly match their offensive output? Yeah, that's a huge concern. And the mistakes on special teams, it's rare to see back-to-back mistakes like that on a field goal. It just doesn't happen.
And here's why I'm not worried about the special teams in particular. One is Butker's a great kicker. He had a bad day with the missed extra point. Those other 2 field goals, not on him. The bad snap, he never gets to kick. The other one, the Titans said afterwards they timed the snap, and that's why they were able to. It looked like they were offsides in real time, but they weren't. And so Butker, I'm not concerned with. And Dave Taub is one of the best in the world as far as coordinating special teams. They've been great at this for a long time. And the Chiefs are still a team nobody wants to play. They're still a team that in any moment, we talk about can they protect a lead, but no lead is safe against them. I still believe that they can be the AFC representative out of the Super Bowl, but a game like yesterday means in order to get there, they're almost assuredly going to have to win 3 playoff games. A game like yesterday almost assuredly ensures that they're going to have to win 2 of those playoff games on the road to get there. And Patrick Mahomes, I have immense faith in him, but we've never seen him play a road playoff game. Now we're going to have to see that, something Kansas City hoped they were going to be able to avoid this year.
All right, time now for Put a Grade on it, sponsored by CarMax. Despite the loss, Mahomes, as we talked about, was fantastic. 446 yards, 3 touchdowns in his return from that dislocated kneecap. Nick, put a grade on the Mahomes game.
You got to give him an A. The only reason it's not an A+ is because on that 3rd and 2, he wasn't able to make some type of magic, even though the play was broken down and iced the game right there. He was as good as any player in the entire league yesterday. I give him an A.
Yeah, I give him an A as well, and I know I'm typically a hard grader, but when he comes back from the injury that he had, there's a lot of uncertainty. It doesn't matter who you are, but you go through that game wondering whether or not it's going to dislocate again, whether or not you're truly healthy. And for him to perform the way he did and not have it be an issue, it's got to be with the arrow pointing up.
Yeah.
All right, someone who rivaled Patrick Mahomes for best player on the field yesterday, Lamar Jackson. Is the MVP his to lose? That's next on First Things First.
I give my bank account an F after the Chiefs loss.